Hello my friends, I am happy to teach you mathematics because math is fun. Our lesson name today is adjacent angles and vertically opposite angles. Our objectives today are to identify two adjacent angles, to draw two adjacent angles. Let's remember. Naming angles. Let's name together the following angles. Notice here we have three angles, angle 1, angle 2 and angle 3. Let's start naming angle 1. But first let's remember from previous information what is a vertex. The vertex is the point that the two sides or the two arms of the angle meet. So this is the vertex. So the vertex here is named P. So now let's name the angle. First of all, we start with a letter, any letter other than the vertex, then the vertex, then the other letter. So let's start, for example, by letter N. This is N. Then we put the vertex, which is P, and finally we put the other letter, which is M. So this angle is named NPM, or we can say that its name is MPN. Let's do angle 2 and angle 3. Let's start by angle 2. So as we said before, we must determine the vertex, which is O. So O must be in the middle, and we start by A or B. So its name is AOB, and that's it. In the same way, we name the angle, the number 3, COB or BOC, the same. Adjacent angles. Given the following figures. Notice that the angle RQS and the angle SQT are adjacent. So these two angles are adjacent angles. Let's move to figure number 2. The angle WOX and the angle YOZ are not adjacent. Let's move to the final figure. The angle FEG and the angle HGE are also not adjacent. So what are adjacent angles? We call the angles K and L, this angle K and L, and L and M adjacent if they have a common vertex, which is N. They have a common vertex N, and if they have a common side in between them, LN or NL, they have a common side between them, and this common side must be between the both angles. So we say that they are adjacent. These are the conditions for two angles to be adjacent: a common vertex, a common side, and the common side must lie between the two angles. Now let's focus here again in the previous figures. Why these two angles are adjacent, as we said before? First of all, they have a common vertex Q, and they have a common side which is between them, QS. We can see that from the name of the angle, QS, and here we have SQ, it's the same. So they have a common side in between them, and they have a common vertex. So that's why they are adjacent. Let's move to figure 2. These two angles, WOX and YOZ, are not adjacent because, first of all, they have a common vertex O, but they don't have a common side in between them. So that's why they are not adjacent. Let's move to the final figure. Angle FEG and HGE, they have a common side in between them, EG. This is the common side in between them, or GE. We can name it GE or EG. But they don't have a common vertex. The first vertex here is E, and the second vertex here is G. That's why they are not adjacent angles. Let's do an exercise. Notice the following figure, then answer by true or false and then justify. And I will give you some time. Now let's do it together. Let's start by the first one. The angle AOB and the angle COE are not adjacent. Let's check it up. The first, here we have a vertex O and here we have a vertex O, but they don't have a common side in between them. So they are not adjacent. So this is a true. Let's move to the second statement. BOC, this angle BOC and the angle BOA are adjacent. So let's check it up. Here the first vertex is O and O, so they have a common vertex O. And also they have a common side in between them, BO or OB, which is this side. So they are adjacent. So this statement is a true also. Third statement. They are adjacent as it says. So the first vertex here is O and the second vertex here is C. So they don't have a common vertex. So they are not adjacent. So this statement is wrong. Let's check this statement. They have a common vertex O and they have a common side OC. So BOC and COE, they have a common side in between them and a common vertex, so they are adjacent. So this statement is also true. Construction of adjacent angles. Let's construct two adjacent angles, ABC and CBD. Let's start constructing the angle ABC. So we draw AB in this way. Then we draw a semi-straight line BC through the point B in this way. Now we got the angle ABC. Now let's construct CBD. We draw a semi-straight line BD through the point B in this way. Now we get the angle CBD. So finally, we constructed two adjacent angles, ABC and CBD. They have a common vertex and a common side BC or CB. Now let's do an exercise. You have to construct two adjacent angles, YOX and XOZ, and I will give you some time. Now let's do it together. First, we draw YO in this way. Then, through O, we draw OX in this way. And finally, we draw a semi-straight line OZ through O in this way. So, we got two adjacent angles, YOX and XOZ. They have a common vertex O and a common side XO that lies in between them. Do these exercises as a homework. Exercise 3, page 46 on your book. Then share the answers with your teacher. We have studied today to identify two adjacent angles and to draw two adjacent angles. I hope you have enjoyed the video and understood the lesson. Don't forget to solve your homework. Thank you and bye.